record it and we will get going. So if you ever go to physios, they tend to recommend foam rolling and stretching for any kind of issues that happen. I tend to do it anyway. If you're training hard during the week, your body needs a little bit of self-care or self-massage to release out the muscles and give the other muscles a chance to work. So if one muscle is really, really tense all the time, take over and start running the show. And the muscles want to relax, like they want to have a little bit of time off. So this is just teaching them how to have some time off. So we're going to roll on our water bottle or our pool, or if we don't have access to any of those, we can use our elbow. Find those places in the muscle where you're like, oh God, that's the trick. Find those spots and hang out on them. Get that muscle to just, you'll feel like you're getting closer to the bone as you do. Find another spot, maybe a little bit lower on the leg, move down towards the kneecap. All the good bits here. Hold it out. Now we're going to do about a minute per side. That's just like a good average time to get the muscle to release. Some people, the muscle will release between 10 and 30 seconds. Others, it'll take 30 to 60 seconds. Give a nice elbow, find those spots that you absolutely detest. It's like form of Chinese torture. That's really how we find out how to do our exercises. We look up like ancient Chinese torture methods of Berkeley. So roll up and down the quad, find the sore spots, give it about 10 seconds to release, and then roll, find another spot. Lovely. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, unless you want one really super activated leg and then one other not so activated. Use the elbow there, a bit of elbow grease. Find those spots where you feel like, oh God. You can also pin the muscle and then move the opposite limb. That way, you're going to move the connective tissue also. So sometimes it's the muscles just switched on, I forgot how to switch off. Other times it's the tissue between it, the connective tissue, kind of like tin film, which is a little bit sticky or not moving the way we want to. So if that's the case, a few things like this will help. They also feel absolutely rotten. So you know the general rule of fitness, it feels really shit, it's probably good for you. I don't agree with that, but anyway. Roll up, find that spot closer to the hip, find the muscle, get it to relax. It's just like going up to your local Thai wellness center, getting a massage, eh? If I ever go there, jeez, they're intense. They have knuckles and bones like steel, made of steel. Come a little bit higher into the hips, find those spots where you feel like you may actually die if you put any more pressure on them. Put a little more pressure on them. So we really want them to release, feel the muscles soften. Think about your breathing. Into the nose, out through the mouth, and you'll feel the ball or your elbow get a little closer to the bone, and that's a good sign that it's relaxing. Nice. So we've done the front of our legs. Another major muscle group of the legs, which creates power in the legs, is the buttocks. So this, you really do need something for this. It's very hard to get your own elbow in. Or what I will do sometimes is find the corner of like a work counter and just lean in on it. So we're looking for the belly of the butt muscle and all around. Find your spot. Give the muscle a bit of a roll. If you feel like there's not enough pressure or tension in there, find the corner of the bottle and sit into it. We'll do another like 30 to 60 seconds here per side. Feel that muscle relaxing. Things are a lot easier when those big muscles disengage for a little bit. When we do our stretching and our mobility now, it'll help you get into a deeper position. So like we always cover the downward dog and the pigeon stretch because they're some of the most important basic mobility standards to have. If someone's really struggling, come onto your side now. Do the side. If someone's really struggling in those stretches and the quad stretch, I'll tell you, the squats and things are going to be a lot harder. It's a bit like driving your car with the handbrake up. You require a lot more effort to do basic movement patterns. It should be easier, but just a little bit more fluidity or freedom within the joint and the muscles, which is exactly what we're doing now. So let's roll right onto the side now. Get up into the top of the hip bone or the middle of the hip bone, right around that area. Allow those muscles to relax. You might feel like a pain going down your leg, or it's called a referral pain. All good. Swap sides. Do the other side now. Come to line on your side. Find the bum muscle first, then come onto the side. Get the corner. If you can't, it'd be very tricky to get your own elbow there, but you might have a lovely assistant especially someone who doesn't like you very much would be great here because they can really put a lot of pressure in. Find a spot that's really tender and then just allow it to relax, sink into that, into whatever it is you're using to roll in. And then let's come up into the corner of the muscle, corner of the hip. Oh, these are the kind of things that, you know, if you move really, really well, don't need to do them. But it depends. Maybe you find certain things like maybe it's a squat, really hard to keep your back straight. Or we do those pigeon stretch and you're like, Jesus, my leg won't go straight. It's good to add in a little bit of this kind of stuff just to take care of the body, get a little bit, feel a little bit better, a little bit easier. So let's start in that downward dog position. We're going to go head through and we're going to cycle the knees. We'll do 10 each side. I'm keeping my back straight. I'm lifting my belly into my spine. And I'm sending my tailbone to the ceiling. So what I'm looking to do here is drive that heel away from the hips. Get that stretch to the calf. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And now our trusty favorite stretch of all time, our pigeon stretch. We're going to bring the knee up. We're going to lift that back leg, scoot the foot under. And then we're going to see, can we get that shin a little bit straighter? Now this might feel kind of tough now. Pop a pillow underneath the bum if you need to, if you feel like your leg is pulling back or you're having to sit out to the side. Sink the hips down towards the floor. Might feel quite stiff now at the moment. That is fine. We're going to be doing lots of workouts and lots of training, and it should loosen up with all the mobility work that we do. Keep the hips relaxing down into the floor. Use that breathing. If you find this position's fine, come up onto the fingertips, lift the chest. Drop the hips down. We get a nice opening through this hip flexor on the opposite leg, and then the butt cheek on the hip with the leg in front. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull the knee up high, lift the back leg, scooter in. Get the foot up and across so it's very, very straight in the shin. Move that back knee back. Give the hips a couple of breaths to soften or sink into that position. I want you to think about in these stretches where's the easiest part or the easiest position to be in. Find the path of least resistance. Find where there's space in your body, and that will allow for those hips to open up a little bit. Oh, God. Okay. Nice, guys. So we'll retest that at the end and see has it gotten better or has it gotten worse or has it stayed the same. Always interesting to know. Now we're going to do our upper body warm-up and our lower body warm-up. So come on up to standing. We're going to start with some arm swings or arm circles. So I'm going to put my hand on my chest and I'm going to go backward circles. Imagine I'm swinging a bucket of water. We're going for 10 back and then I'm going to reverse and go for 10 forward. Keep the body loose around the shoulder but tight around the abs. Do the same thing on the other side. Forward circles. I keep my hand on my chest just so I know that my chest isn't bouncing around. I'm not doing this. Let's go back for 10. Think about you're swinging that bucket of water. And then we're going to go across the body. We'll go for our claps. Well done. We made it to the workout. Go for 10, 9, 8. Doesn't matter if they don't touch. And if they do touch, see can you get them to touch a little bit higher. 5, 4, 3. Get a nice release in the upper back. Then 2 and 1. Lovely. We're going to go for some twists. So go knuckle to knuckle. Well done. You did good. And we're going to twist to the side and then to the other side. The feet are going to want to move. Grab the ground with your feet. And we'll go for 10, 9, 8. Keep your eyes on your elbows as you go around. 7, 6, 5, 4. Grabbing the ground with your feet. 3, 2, and 1. Take hand on one hip, other hand comes up and over, and we're going to reach to the side, see how far you can go. Use that opposite hand to push that hip away. That's 2. Let's go for 10, 9, 8. Keep the ground underneath your feet, especially through that big toe. 6, 5. Only as far as you can go here. 4, 3. This wouldn't be one that you want to really, really push unless you feel flexible. Last 2 and 1. Come into a forward fold. So it doesn't matter how far your hands get down here. I'm not so interested in it. If you're flexible, you'll probably be able to get to the floor. If it's only here, still good. We're going to go for a windmill. So I'm going to lift the arm, look at it overhead. That's 1. And do the same thing on the other side. Let's go for 10 together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, looking at that hand as it goes overhead. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down onto the mat. Let's do a little bit more for the lower body now. Bring the legs wide. Sitting on a cushion. If you find it quite hard to keep your back straight in this position, it feels like this. Stick a cushion underneath your butt. Lift your butt cheek up so you're sitting on your sit bones. And we're going to go for a forward fold. So our goal here on the first set is keep our chest up. Reach our fingertips forward. Keep the thumbs in line with the eyes. And that's where we're going to keep our gaze. If our gaze stays in line with our thumbs and our thumbs stay in line with our eyes, then we'll probably keep our back straight. Let's go for 10. That's 2 of these reaches. Let's go together. Find your thumbs. And let's go for 10, 9, 8. Pushing a little bit further each time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep the eyes on the thumbs. Nearly forgot myself. 2, and 1. Lovely. This time now we're going to work on rounding the back. Walk the fingertips forward. See how far we can get. So we're going to walk them forward. Then we're going to pause. Take a breath in, take a breath out. See, can we walk them forward a little bit more? Take a breath in, take a breath out. Walk them forward. Last one. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Oh, what a stretch. And now we're going to go side to side just to get that rotation. Here's the main movement. There's this one, there's this one, and then there's the rotational one. So let's go opposite toe, opposite hand. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Let's do a little bit of stretching, a little bit more stretching for the legs. That was all a bit dynamic. That means I'm moving along. Now we're going to go more static. So one leg out in front, one leg behind. We're looking to open the hip flexor, which starts from here down here, all across the front of the hip. So I'm going to let my hips sit forward, making sure I'm not arching my back and letting my knee drop out to the side like this. What a lovely image, eh? Want to keep that knee in, tuck the tailbone, and then drive the hips forward. That tuck is the most important thing here. Keep that back foot relaxed. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the hamstring. This is the bum, this is the hamstring. Squeeze them. Squeeze that little part in between the lower back, right around your pelvic floor. Keep that connected so that we can stretch into the hip flexor. And we're not just hanging out there. It's not like, ugh. There's a lot of tension in the surrounding muscles to support your spine. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Keep those muscles engaged. Sink deep into that position. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Swap it around. What's the most important thing here? Zig tuck and the squeeze. Make sure that knee isn't dropping out to the side. Keep it in line with the heel. And let's drive forward. Relax that back toe. Tuck and squeeze. Just use your breath now to allow that hip flexor to open. Remember, hip flexor is between here and here. If you're feeling it in your lower back, we really need to think about pulling the ribs into the belt buckle and squeezing the bum in that position. It just means that there's not much engagement in the midline. And that should engage us. Lovely, guys. Last one, some work for the hamstrings. We'll turn our foot up, we'll straighten that leg and point that toe, and we're going to go for 10. Leaning forward into it. That's 2. Let's go for 10 together. 10, 9. Think about getting my chest onto my knee. 8, 7. You can reach for the floor to stop it from going too far, or pop your hand on your knee for balance. We got 5 more here. Toe pointed. 4, 3, 2. Send the bum back as you go, and 1. From here, we're going to pull that toe into position, and I'm going to walk away from the bent knee. So keep that toe up, and just hold this stretch for 5 breaths. Into the nose, out through the mouth. If you feel like your chest is tight, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth to get a little bit more stretch to the front line of the body. The nose, out through the mouth. Last one, allow that chest to sink down into the thigh. Woo, what a nice deep stretch. Let's swap sides, the same thing on the other side. We're gonna flatten our toe first. We're gonna go for 10 bounces. Keep that toe pointed, 10 together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, send the bum back, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the toe up, walk away. 5 deep breaths into the nose. Hold for a second out through the mouth. Comb in the roof of the mouth, feel like that front line of the body is a little bit tighter. So like the chest and the hips. Into the nose. Out to the mouth. Let's do 2 more. Lovely. Dropping the chest into the thigh. Sending the hips back. Nice. Let's breathe test. So we did our downward dog. Right hands underneath the shoulders, toes underneath. We're rolled under, and we're gonna lift our hips up. Drive our heels down. Oh yeah, it feels better for me. Let's try these guys. See, is your heel getting closer? Or maybe you can see yourself on your screens, right? Maybe your back is straighter. You get your tailbone up towards the ceiling a little bit more. That would be good. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or maybe your nose is a little bit closer to your knees. All good progressions. Let's try that pigeon stretch again. Knee up, foot up. See, can you go a little bit further back here? I definitely can. I hope you guys have the same kind of gains. And then let's swap it over. Do the same thing on the other side. See, are both sides even? Leg up and across. See, can you sit a little bit lower? Maybe if you're using a cushion, you might be able to take the cushion away. Mobility feels great. So that was our warm-up. If you were to go back, I have these guys on YouTube, and just do this mobility warm-up every morning, I'd say you would feel pretty good throughout the day. After like 4 or 5 days, the difference in your movement, like being able to pick something up off the floor or come down, sit down into a squat, you get a little bit more easier access to these pieces. So we're gonna need a chair or a couch today to do our workout. We're gonna do a lot of work, or 3 sets of work for our adductors, the muscles on the inside of the legs, we're gonna strengthen them, and then we're gonna do a little bit more work for the butt cheeks and the backs of the legs. We have loads of spots to come in the workout. So our first exercise, starting in a side plank position with my elbow on my knee. I'm gonna get my knee up on the chair or the bench or the couch or whatever it is that I have. And I'm gonna stick my hips up to the ceiling. This will be the first position. So find a chair, couch, whatever it is. If you don't have access to a chair or a couch, what I'll get you to do is come to a bent knee position, put a bowl or your water bottle in between, squeeze and lift, because we want that squeezing motion from that top leg pushing down. Give the chair, let's do it together. Knees are both bent, start with both knees underneath, or one knee underneath and one knee on top. Lift the hips up, drive through that upper knee. This could be enough for you guys. Hold it here. We'll do 15 seconds per side. If that's enough, or if it's not enough, you don't feel like you're getting enough engagement here, lift that bottom leg up off the floor. We got 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Nice, and because I don't have another bench, I'm gonna have to turn away. So start, knee up on top of the bench, knee underneath, elbow underneath the shoulder, lift the hips first. Push that knee into the chair. If it feels fine, see, can you lift that bottom knee? Or is the belly button in line with the hips? Is the rib cage long and flattened into the spine? 5 seconds there. 4, 3, 2, and then relax. We're going to do a very similar position now, except we're going to come into a straight leg. So I have my knee on. This time I'm going to have just my ankle on. Other ankle underneath. Let's get into this position and go at the same time. Elbow underneath, belly button into the spine, and lift the hips up off the floor. This is the starting position. This is a lot tougher this way, right? If you can, see, can you lift that bottom leg? Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, or maybe just up and down. 6, 5, little lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Get the ankle, just the ankle on top, other leg underneath. Elbow underneath the shoulder. What's happening to the core? Let's lift it up. 10 seconds here, because it's a good bit harder. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely, guys. Next exercise, you're going to need your bottle of water for this, or a tennis ball or a book or anything. Just put between your knees so that we're squeezing our knees together. We're going to go for a glute bridge here. Heels are close to the body. I'm actively pushing my legs together. And keep your elbows down for extra support, or palms flat if you feel like you're quite stable. We're going to drive our hips up, squeeze our bum, and we'll go for 12 here. So keep squeezing that thing between your knees so that you get everything on the inside pulling in and rotating in. We're going to make sure that we keep our rib cage down. If you haven't started with me already, join in. We're going for 12 reps here. So we're going to feel a nice squeeze through the middle back, lower back, and pelvic floor and glutes as we go. 4 more. 4, 3, making sure we're not letting that rib cage get away from us. Keep it down. 2, last one, and 1. And then the last exercise in that sequence, we're done one set spline, eh? It's a Cossack squat. Or you could do a side lunge. So side lunge looks like this. I start with my feet wide, start my feet together and then step wide. So remember here, we're working on these guys. So if you're here, you don't really feel the inside of your legs, step a little further, drop your bum down. You gotta make space between the knees here. Let's go for 10 each side together. Drive that knee out. Keep both feet facing me or facing the camera. So you feel a nice stretch between the knees. 7 to go. Feel that stretch in the butt cheeks. Keep that knee coming out over the toe. Sit the bum down towards the heel. 3 more and then we'll swap sides. 2. And same thing on the other side. Big step. Remember here, because we're targeting one muscle group, because we don't have access to lots and lots of load, so like dumbbells, kettlebells, some of you do, but barbells, things like that, we overload the muscles by doing lots of reps on that particular muscle. Let's go for 2 more. 2. And 1. So everything today is focused on the inside of the legs. We're going to go back and do 2 more sets. So where we want to add load, if you have it, is going to be on the Cossack squats or on the hips for the hip bridge. And I'll show you how to make that a little tougher. So if you guys are quite strong, you've been doing these classes, you might feel like the glute bridge by itself is fairly easy for you at this stage. So knee on top of the bench, we're going together on set 2 of 3. We're going to lift our hips up. Challenge yourself, see can you lift that knee up on top, up and into it. If this feels really easy, you could go for the hip dips. We'll do 15 seconds or 5 to 10 hip dips. Just to get that extra engagement of the muscle and prepare tomorrow. Might feel a little bit tender in here. The one way you know you work them, get the other leg up on top, bottom leg underneath. Lift the hips to start. If it feels good and you can, lift that bottom leg. Challenge yourself, even just small lift and down. The pressure comes from you driving that top knee into the bench. And then we're going to go for a hip dips. Dropping down, 5 to 10 reps here. Lovely, let's do the same thing with the straight leg. Same principles of progression apply here. Just the ankle on top. Lift the hips up. Lift that bottom leg if you can. 10 seconds, it's a little harder. Try those hip dips if you want more. 3, 2, and 1. Same thing on the other side. Need super strong adductors for this one. Ankle up on top. Hips up, just to hold, lift that bottom leg if it's there. And we're going for 3 to 5 reps on the hip dips. Lovely, guys. Well done. Grab your bowl, bottle. Let's go for that hip bridge. Make it a little bit harder. Pop the heels on the bench. Squeeze your dumbbell. or sorry, your ball, and drive yourself up onto your shoulders. So you want to make sure here that we're not letting our rib cage jump out and open up. We want to keep the ribs down. We want to drive from our tailbone. Let's go for 12. Stick to the ones on the floor if you need to. Keep those rib cages down at the top. We want to drive from our butt. 6 to go, 6. Think about opening those hip flexors like we stretched earlier. 5, 4, 3, 2, more, and 1. Nice. If you do have access to a little bit of load, you want to make it a little bit harder, grab your dumbbell or your kettlebell for the Cossack squats next. Let's get straight into these. Take a little bit of a break if we need to. So maybe you're on the side lunges, or maybe you've done these classes before, and you remember the Cossack squats. Coming all the way down, or as far as we can, turning that opposite foot up towards the ceiling, and then transitioning low, sitting into the other side. Let's go for 10 in total, each side, so 20 in total. Or you're on your side lunges for 10 each side. These are a really good one for flexibility. Lovely, guys. That's 6 for me. I'm going for 12. Think about keeping the chest upright. Think about keeping the rib cage down. Doesn't have to be so deep. I'm quite lucky in that I'm like naturally quite flexible. Some people aren't as loose in their joints. If that's the case, doesn't matter. It's still benefiting us in the exact same way. 2 more. 2. And lovely, guys. Pop the weight to the side. Now is the perfect time for you to grab some water if you need it. Slow it down a little bit. Give your body a little bit of time to recover. So do 1 more set here. Then we're going to do some more single leg things, and then we're into the workout. Workout today is very much about the push-ups and the squats. We have some handstand holds and some sit-ups in between. They shouldn't feel super tough. They should feel like the semi-rest. So drive the knee up on top of the bench. Let's go together. Hips up high. And lift that knee if you can. Couple of hip dips if you can. Think about keeping that spine super straight. Lovely, guys. 5 to 10 on the hip dips. Always driving through that top knee on the bench. 3, 2, and 1. Same thing on the other side. Remember, it doesn't matter where you're at on these. Some people need something more challenging to get stronger. That's just the nature of their body. Maybe where you're at for the moment, just the hold is perfectly fine. If it feels like an 8 out of 10 effort, that's what matters. 2 more reps. 2. And 1. Same thing in the straight leg position. This guy's a little bit harder now. Stack the ankle on top. Hips up. See, can you lift that bottom leg? And let's go between 3 and 5 reps here if you're doing the hip drops. These guys are starting to get tough now. And as you can see, if you did a couple of warm-up sets with me, where you're not going super challenging by keeping the leg down, you start to take it up. Well, this is what it feels like now to do a really tough set, like a working set. 3 to 5 here. 4 and 5. Should be feeling by the end of it that you're like, oh my God. If not, that's okay. We have loads of different classes to get that effect. We can also get it in the workout, the oh God effect. You want to be getting that at once, maybe twice a week. The rest of it should feel pretty manageable. Pop the dumbbell in between, pull the rib cage down, create space in the body, and drive the hips up. Remember, think about stretching those hip flexors. I find it really helps for me keep my hands in the place where I want to open. So I think about driving through that position. Otherwise, I can arch my back and use my back a little bit too much. Let's go for 12 in total. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Last set on the cossack squats. It's a bit challenging enough little set. A couple of exercises, especially on those lunges at the end or cossack squats at the end. Let's go together. Doesn't matter. If you need to do less reps here, go for it. We don't want to reach absolute failure. Absolute failure is like, oh, I can't even stand up. So don't go so deep. Keep the heels down here. The heels are going to want to lift. That's 6. We're going for 20. Keep sending the hips back. Keep that knee driving out over the toe. 10 to go. These guys are harder than they look. Last 4. Grab some water. Out of curiosity, let's check the downward dog. Let's check the big and stretch. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Drive the head through. Woo. I'm flying. You might feel that it's easier. You can get deeper into that position. You can get your back straighter, or maybe you're getting deeper and it feels harder. So keep lifting the belly button into the spine, head through the arms, lift the tailbone to the ceiling. Let's go one leg up and across. Move that back leg back. See how the pigeon feels now. Can you get a little bit closer to the floor? Maybe you can get that front leg a little bit straighter. Maybe you don't need the cushion anymore. Maybe you can sit more upright. Let's try the other side. Leg up, lift, scoop. Come up onto the fingertips if you feel fine here. Find your center, your middle. Think about lifting that into the spine and up away from the floor. Okay, guys. Work for a Tuesday morning, eh? We're going to go over some exercises now that will require your chair. If you don't have a chair, we're going to do a step down. If you don't have a chair where you'll be stepping down from, you can do a lunge. But instead of pushing into my back toe like this, to see the way my toe is under, I'm going to point my toe, flatten my foot, and get my shoelaces to the floor. Standing up in the same way. We're going to do 6 per side. On the step downs, you can do them on the lunges later. So in the step downs, if you do have a chair, come on up to standing. Look at my foot. I'm not coming down like this. I'm pulling my toe away and driving my heel to the floor. Then driving off that front leg. We're going to do this for 6 per side or 6 on the lunges. Let's go together. In 3, 2, 1. Pull that toe away from the shin. Use a wall or an armchair if you need to balance. Keep that toe off the floor. This will get the backs of the legs a lot more. Instead of driving off this top leg, you'll really be working this guy here. We got 3 to go, then we'll swap sides. 3. Keep that toe pulled up into the shin. 2. Last 1. Let's swap sides. Pull the toe up. Sit back into that heel on the front foot. So a lot of the time, people spend a lot of their time moving or rushing forward to get things done. This can create shortness in the hamstrings. So this exercise here really lengthens the hamstrings and allows you to sit back or like chill out. Nice. 2 more. 2. And lovely, guys. Our next exercise, using the bench. Also do this on the floor as a single leg glute bridge. Stay on the heel, drive the hips up, or take it up a little bit, make it a little bit tougher. Shoulder blades on the bench. Pull the rib cage down, and we're going to go for a hip thrust. So look how I rock down towards the floor and back up. My shoulders move on the bench, and I can always see my knees. Let's go for 10 here. Keep that rib cage down so you feel the tailbone lengthen at the end. 4 to go, 4, so tight through here. 3, 2, last one, and 1. Very nice. Last exercise. Ooh, gonna come into a side plank. If you want to, you can do this with your feet on the bench and your hands. Make it tougher, like so, or the regular. Hips up, elbow down. We'll go for 10 seconds per side here. If that's easy, maybe you're finding this one really, really tough. You're on the floor on the elbow, lift that top leg. Or come up onto the hand on the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Come up onto the hand, maybe here, lift that top leg, or maybe a little bit more. Pop yourself up onto the bench, and hold. 10 seconds. Relax your belly. Sit back into your spine. And relax. Lovely. 1 set done. Grab a little bit of water. 2 sets to go. Then we'll go through the workout. Let's get through these guys quite quick now. We've still got some things to cover. So take small breaks for water in between if you need it. Otherwise, you're going to rock and roll. Let's go for 6. Pull that toe off the floor. Drive the heel down to the floor. If you find that your bench maybe isn't high enough for you to feel like you're getting a proper hard effort or hard exercise out of it, then you can just go down slower. Fight it for 3, 2, 1. We got 2 more here. Think about dropping the belly into the thigh. Last one. Let's do the same thing on the other side. 6 reps. Pull that toe away from the shin. Try not drive off the toe on the not working leg, on the straight leg. Keep sending the hips back and down. 3 more. Keep driving the belly into the thigh. So the last one. Very nice, guys. Hip thrusts. You want to take it up, make it harder. Go single leg. Go 5 per side. 1 leg here. 5 per side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that lower back unarched. Keep it flat. Muscles on the side of the hip so that we can actually give our glute space to work. 3, 4 more. These guys are tough, aren't they? And 5. Same thing, side plank. Elbow underneath the shoulder. Stack the hips. 3, 2, 1. Lift her up. 10, 9, 8, 7. Try the fist. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Same thing on the other side. Stack the legs up on top. Lift the hips. Try the fist. Lift the leg. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Lovely, guys. Quick drop of water. 1 more set. We have our strength done. So they said you can't get access to load, which causes loads of muscles to work at the same time. Think about like a heavy dumbbell. You can just do lots and lots of reps on very small muscles or isolate certain parts of the movement. So right now we're isolating what happens on the inside of the legs, the adductors to work. Let's go for a last set. If you have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, feel free to add them here if you want more oomph. You want to get stronger. Come on up to standing. Pull the toe away from the shin. Sink the belly into the thighs. That's 1. We're going for 6. 2. Relax the hips as you go down. Think about lengthening. So we're not trying to contract or shorten. We're trying to get long, through that hamstring. One more. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Pull that toe away from the floor. Think about softening the belly in towards the thigh. You can lean forward a little bit, create some counterbalance. Keep that back long. 2 more. Last one. Lovely, guys. Hip thrusts. Start with the leg. You didn't start with the last time you did single leg. Everyone has a not as cooperative limb, right? Mine be my right on the hip thrust. So I'm going to start there when I'm fresh. I'm going to get that tuck of the pelvis, squeeze the bum, and go for my 5 reps. 5, keeping my rib cage down. 4, 3, think about the glute muscle now that you want to work. 2, last one. And same thing on the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Amen. We're into our side planks. Last round. Hand underneath. Stack the feet. Let's do it. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Balance now. 3, 2, 1. Same thing on the other side. Stack the feet up on top. Come up onto the hand. Lift the hips. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Well done, guys. Take a break, grab some water. We're going to go through the movements of the next piece, but we're going to start it. So, as we go through it, you'll be learning how to do it. Instead of me spending 5-10 minutes explaining what we're doing, we'll just do it as we go. So, can you see this is the question. It doesn't look like it's very clear. Let's see, I'll put it up here. Hopefully, it's backwards in my screen, so I'm hoping it's not backwards in your screen. So what we're looking for is 14 minutes, as many rounds as possible. But in the first 3 rounds, we're going to stick together and go through the movements. The movements are an air squat. There you got it there. A sit-up, weighted if you have a dumbbell. A push-up, and a handstand hold. Quick note in the handstand hold. You can do it against the wall, or you can do a plank, this position, or feet on the bench. Try and get the hands underneath the hips for that handstand hold position. All of these work. 1 second. All of these positions work. What we want is like a pressing or a stable position. So our first exercise, we're going to do an air squat. Let's start this together. We'll go through it at the same time. So start. In 3, 2, 1. Send the bum back and down. If you're unsure of the movement, don't worry. We pick it up as you watch me. We will be doing 14 reps. So loads of reps here. I've got 7 to go. After this, we're going into our sit-up. 5, you can take down the reps if you want to. 3, 2, and 1. Into our sit-up, feet go underneath the hips. And we're going to tap our heels, bring our hands behind us. We're doing 10 of these together. If the sit-up's not happening for you today, 20 toe taps instead. We got 5 to go here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we have 7 press-ups. If you know how to do a press-up, do it. If you find that you're not getting them from your toes, find another height. Something a little bit higher away from the floor. And do your 7 here. 2, 3, 4, 6, 1 more, and 7. First round, we're going to do that plank position, elbows underneath, 20 seconds. Find whatever feels stable. Make sure you're not hanging your hips low to the floor. Just find that position you can maintain. You got 10 seconds. Keeping those shoulders over the wrists. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, That's one round done. We're going to do 7 rounds minimum. We're going every 2 minutes. If you want to take it up, you want to make it harder, I'll get you to add reps on. So every time together, we're going to be going every 2 minutes, regardless of how many reps you've done at the start. So we've got a couple more progressions to show you on the handstand, and then I'll show you how to make it a little tougher. 5 seconds, we have our 14 squats. 3, 2, 1. When in doubt, if you ever want to make something tougher, a good way to do that would be to go a little faster. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going nice and steady for those first couple of rounds because we're going to be doing a lot of them, right? 14 sit-ups or toe touches, 10 on the sit-ups, 20 on the toe taps. As you come down, relax the lower back first, or round the lower back first. 9, one more, and 10. We're into our push-ups. You do them from the floor. If they're very tough, break them up. Watch me. Do 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2. My 7 done. Maybe you're in the plank position. Stay there if you want to, or challenge yourself. Come into that pike handstand push-up or handstand. So lift the tailbone over the head, lengthen through the back. 20 seconds. We got 10 to go. See, can you get your hands a little closer? Pull your belly button into your spine. 5, 4, 3, and 1. Well done, guys. 30 seconds of a break. So if you feel like this is very easy, it shouldn't feel too tough in the first few rounds. We do have 5 more to go. If you want more, if you want to get more out of it, go faster on the squats or add reps on the push-ups. So instead of 7, you could do 10 push-ups. Instead of 14 squats, you could do 15 to 20. You can go very fast. We want to make sure we have at least 10 seconds in between rounds, minimum. 30 seconds if you're taking it handy. 14 squats in 3, 2, and 1. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, as deep as you can, 3, 2, and 1. If you have a dumbbell or you want to make the sit-ups harder, let's go weighted. Hold your kettlebell, hold your dumbbell. We have 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're for push-ups now, whatever variation. Maybe you're doing it from your knees, also fine. Maybe from your knees, you feel like you could get a couple extra reps. If that's the case, add them up to 10. And last progression on the handstand, up against the wall. See how close you can get. Or the plank, or the pike. Nose touching is a pretty good standard, but don't go as far unless you have that confidence. 10 seconds here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and walk it out or jump there. Nice, guys. 20 seconds to go. 4 rounds to go. Take it up, make it a little bit harder if you need to. Add on the reps. Let's go together in 10 seconds. Let's move a little bit faster. 3, 2, and 1. 14 reps. Or you want to push yourself. You want more out of the workout. 15 to 20. Grab a weight in the sit-ups if you want to make this harder. And let's keep these the same reps throughout. 10 in total. 2, 3. Elbows going over the knees at the top. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Push-ups. Whatever reps, make these challenging. 7 is the number. Break them up if they're really hard. 2, and 1. And then our 20-second on the handstand plank or bench handstand. Nose close to the wall. Think about pulling the ribs into the spine, lifting from the pelvic floor. Squeeze the legs together. Push through the ground. You got 3 seconds. 2, and 1. Nice, guys. We're over halfway to 3 sets to go. Pretty good, eh? Not the hardest workout you've ever done with me, hopefully, but should still feel like it's tough because we're adding in a lot of reps here. So because we're doing a lot of reps, we don't want the intensity to be too high. We're into our squats now. Third last round. 3, 2, 1. Let's go for our 14, or you're working harder, 15 to 20. On the squat, keep an eye that you're lifting your arches and your big toes are pressed down. Into our sit-ups, add the weight if you want to make it tougher, or if you have no weight, go straight leg, point the toes. Let's go for 10 all the time here. 7, 8, 9, 4, 10. Push-ups. Any variation on a hard or tough set. Break them up if you need to. 3, 2, 1. Last one for me. Into our handstand hold. In 3, 2, and 1. Walk it in. Nose to the wall. Belly button to the spine. Push through the floor. Squeeze and point the toes. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk it out or step down. Take some water, 20 seconds. Last 2 rounds. Nice work, guys. Let's keep it up. Let's add on reps if you feel like it's too easy, or maybe you're happy enough to have an 8 or 7 out of 10 workout. Whatever you feel is right for today. 3, 2, 1. A good thing to think of when you're thinking about exercise intensity is how many times have you worked out in that week? If you've done closer to 4 or 5 sessions, then you want to reduce the intensity on these sections. So one section for you could be like a running section, or a biking section, or maybe you do your own thing in the gym. Yoga would be more of a recovery section. If that's the case, try keep the workout intensity to 7 or 8. If you're just getting the 2 of these in, and we can elicit the same amount of results from less frequency if we just increase the intensity. 8, 9, 1 more, and 10. Push-ups. Second last round. And we're in on the handstand hold. Last time. If you're up against the wall, where you want to try it, start a downward dog. Lift one leg at a time. Hold it here if you need to. Press the hips into the wall and lift the ribs away from the wall. We got 10 seconds here. Or you're on your plank or your bench handstand. 5, 4, 2, And one, step it down, walk it out, see you later. Last round. If you want to take that intensity up, you're only getting 2 tough workouts a week. Now would be the time. Last round, push it to the end, so you can get a 9 or a 10 out of 10 workout. Add reps on the squat. Go for 20, go as fast as you can. And push-ups, go as fast as you can. Going in 3, 2, 1. Everybody else, you feel like you've reached failure now at this point. Body is stiff and tight and you're not able to move any faster. 14 reps total. That's it. Sit-ups. Grab your dumbbells. Go forward. 10 reps. Sit up onto that tailbone at the top. Pull that belly button up into the rib cage at the top. Last 2. Last 1. Push-ups. 7. Wherever you're at. Bench or whatever. 2. Handstand hold. Last one. Walk the feet up the wall. 20 seconds. Get a little closer this time if you can. See if you can find your balance. Push to the floor, point your toes. You might feel them coming off the wall a little bit. Not a bad thing. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. Great work, guys. Hopefully that wasn't like, hey Zeng, hopefully that wasn't like a mazillion out of a mazillion. Am I right? Maybe stick in the chat. Go to gallery view. What it was out of 10. Or maybe it was a 10 out of 10 because you were like, I'm going to do those squats as fast as I can. Anyway, I have been taking up 8. Boom. Nice work. Well done. 8. Yes. Lovely. I remember there's a time, nice thing, where I was like, we're going to make this a handy enough workout. And everyone was like, 10, 10, 10. So that really shows that you're learning how to, well done, Richard, modulate the intensity on the workouts. Really important. It's like developing different gears in how you train. So not every session should be like, you need 10 liters of coffee and loads of oomph and tough music to get going. That's not the way most people train. There's that modulation in intensities. So I'm glad you guys were able to keep it a little bit handier today. And if you have any questions, as always, give me a shout. Well done. Retest that pigeon stretch and downward dog if you're curious to see if it got better or maybe worse or the same. But it's interesting to know, just exploring and understanding your own body. And on that note, I'll let you guys go. Have a great day. And thank you. You're so welcome, Becca. Thank you, as always. Always a pleasure to train with you guys. Time for a shower. Take care now, guys. Have a nice day. Bye. Oh, thanks, Richard. I'll give you the tour the next time. Have a nice day, Richard. See you.